Welcome to my fall TBR. I have a stack of 5 books here that I have on my high priority to read this fall season, and I'm going to talk about all of them today with you guys. I absolutely love watching these videos. I feel like it's a perfect type of video to watch if you're looking for book recommendations, because you are literally watching a video of books people are excited to read, and I feel like hearing someone be excited to read a book then makes you excited and intrigued to read that book as well. Hopefully after today's video you have some books that intrigue you for you to pick up this fall season. The books that I have here I am so excited for. I mean, obviously that's why I have them on the stack, but I have like a good mix of different genres here. I have some thriller books, I have romance, fantasy, YA, and books that are just so cozy. So I am very excited to sit and talk about all of these books with you guys. The very first book that I plan to read this fall, it's Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. It sounds like such a great time, especially because it's also YA, and if you have seen any of my videos, you have heard me talk about how much I love young adult books. In this book, we are following our FMC Lucy, who actually hates fall. Weird, right? And it actually says that she is a barista at her mom's coffee shop, and I love when our FMCs work at coffee shops or pastry shops. I feel like it makes it so cozy. Usually it always talks about like the yummy smells that are coming from this coffee shop between like the pumpkin spice lattes, the coffee, or the pastries. And then it says a multinational coffee chain opens literally across the street from where she works. It says to make matters worse, it turns out that Jack Harper, the new kid in school and Lucy's secret crush, is a son of the owner. So it sounds like they're naturally going to be rivals, because he works at a more like a corporate coffee shop, where she works at a locally owned coffee shop. So naturally they're not gonna get along, especially because they are right across the street from her store. I feel like this is just going to be such an easy, fun little read, especially because it's YA. I'm so excited for this one. Then to the next book. I feel like this is also going to be such a cozy read, and also takes place in that like cozy coffee shop atmosphere that I was talking about. This is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I bought this book probably like 3 falls ago, which is too long to have a book on your TBR, and every year I'm like determined to read it, and so many other books end up taking its place, and I'm starting to feel bad for this book. Like I keep putting it to the side and I don't want to anymore. I feel like looking at these characters as well on the cover makes me think of The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst and The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, because both of those books have these characters that are purple or blue, or like there's like a walking talking gnome, or there's like a walking talking spider plant. Like these characters that aren't supposed to be like alive are real and living in these books, and looking at this cover I feel like it's going to give me the same vibes as those 2 other books, and those have been one of my favorite books that I've read this year. So hopefully this is a book that is up there for me. It says, after a lifetime of bountings and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for the last time. She is determined to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thune. But rivals old and new stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. It says, if Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to do it alone. But the true rewards, and this is what makes me so excited, it says, but the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way. Like the found family in these books just sounds so lovely. And whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she ever could have dreamed. I feel like this book is going to give that beautiful found family that The Spell Shop and The House on the Cerulean Sea gave. I love books that are like that, where the book starts off with them struggling within their own identity or just like in their life, and then along the journey of them, you know, getting through their hardships, they end up finding this beautiful family that is just so tight-knit, and It sounds like such a lovely time. I love the coffee shop atmosphere. I love the found family vibes. This book sounds like a good mix of my favorite things in one. The next two books here are spooky, scary books, and I love reading scary books all throughout the year, but especially in October. Like, come on, that's the best time to read it. The very first book is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. If you have watched my channel for a while now, you know how much I love Frida McFadden and her books. The Housemaid series, the trilogy that she has, I love. And there's a couple other of her books that are just standalones that I love, but I also have had a good amount of her books that I've read that have been disappointments. It's gotten to the point now where like her books are like 50-50 for me. Like either I'm going to absolutely love it or be disappointed. I'm saying all of that because I feel like Never Lie maybe I shouldn't say it like this, but I feel like Never Lie is going to be one of those last books that are going to be one of my absolute favorites from her, because I feel like even the newest books that she has released, people haven't been raving about them the way that they have with The Housemaid or Never Lie. I've been holding on to it because I'm so excited to read it, because I think it's going to be a 5-star read. There's something about having a book that you're so excited to read that you almost put it off because of that. At least that's what I do. Like, because I know I'm gonna love it, I love that excitement of it, and I just like want to like soak it in, so then I just don't end up picking it up. I don't know, I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that. I don't know a single thing about this book, and I don't want to, especially, I mean, I do that all the time, but especially with psychological thrillers, I feel like it's important to go into the books blindly so that you don't start to like guess what the book is going to be and the plot twists before you even pick up the book. I feel like that's what I would do. I would try to guess what's going to happen before I even pick up the book. So I'm not going to read the synopsis. All I know is that it's about newlyweds going to therapy or something like that. I'm not too sure. Then to the next spooky book that I want to read is The Sundown Motel by Simon St. James. This one is 2 different timelines. It's based in upstate New York. There's one POV, or like the first part of the book is in 1982, and then the second half of the book is 2017. So we are first following Viv, who is trying to find a job. She finds one at this hotel, and immediately it's really eerie, and she ends up disappearing because we end up finding out that her niece, years later, is trying to discover what happened to her aunt, and those eerie things that happened to her aunt is now happening to her, because she's stepping in something that she shouldn't be stepping into. I have really high hopes for this book. I love that it's also, I don't know if it's necessarily dual timeline. So it says 1982. Oh, I think it is dual timeline. Yes. I think the way that the synopsis was written made me think that it was like completely 2 different timelines set at different times. But it is dual timelines, which I love, because I feel like when books do that, it makes you so invested in the timeline that you're in, and then they leave you on a cliffhanger, and when you turn the next page, you're actually on the different timeline, so you're like, God, you have to keep on reading so that you can get back to the original or the first timeline. I feel like it helps the story get going, and it makes it addicting to read. Now to the 5th and last book that I'll be talking about in today's video is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is the 2nd book in the Hunger Games series. I read The Hunger Games a couple months ago, and it was a 5-star read for me. I loved that book so much. It was such an easy page turner. I was addicted. It had me at the edge of my seat because it has such high stakes. If you haven't read the books, I highly encourage you. And if you've never read the movies, which I feel like might be unlikely because the movies are so popular, but if you haven't watched the movies, I highly encourage you as well. The Hunger Games book and the movie were extremely similar, and I loved it, because that's why I picked up the books, because I love the movies so much. I first watched the movies growing up, and so when I started getting into reading, I thought, maybe I should pick up the books, and I'm so happy that I did. The way that the first book ended, It was like, in a way, like a closure in its own book, but it left off with still like so many questions of what is going to happen next. It's YA, it's fantasy. Katniss, our main character, Katniss Everdeen, is so cool. She is such a badass. I am so excited to see what is going to happen with Katniss and Peeta. Like, I know what's going to happen because I watched the books. I mean, watched the books because I watched the movies. But Peeta has my heart. Oh my goodness. I am like thrilled to pick this book up. Now, because again, I watched the movies, I do know in a way what is going to happen next, but it still feels like this like fresh new story that I'm reading because I'm reading the books. So I'm not going to say what the second book is going to be, especially if you haven't even watched the movies, if you never even have read the books. I don't want to spoil it. All I know that the stakes are going to be high. There's going to be some lovely tension between Katniss and Peeta, and there's going to be some sort of like overruling the government type of thing, because that's what the books are about as well. That is what the books are about. I feel like I have such a lovely stack of books here. I feel like every single book I am so excited to read. Like, I'm so giddy and just excited for the fall season and the fall reading and the pumpkin spice everything and the spooky books and like the fall rom-coms. It's such a lovely time of year. Those are the 5 books that I hope to read this fall season. Comment down below if you have read any of these books. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on them. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!